Kia ora, nau mai, hoki mai. Thanks for coming back.
Pleasure, nice to be here again.
And I know when people get all fascinated about game, they forget, ko te mea nui ke, the most important thing to you is actually the taste, isn't it?
Absolutely. The fact that it's wild is just a nice little bonus.
Me te hake te tini pēr e tahi whakaaro, and we're kind of changing ideas sometimes because I believe today you could officially say we're cooking offal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, most people don't. You go, yay, offal, wheko.
I'm sure if they saw the end result to start with, then they'd be all yay. So we've got a pheasant liver mousse or pheasant liver parfait, which is a more spreadable version of a pate. And then we also have a pork hock rillette, and that is basically like a coarse pate. You want to cook it till it falls off the bone, so you can't really overcook this.
So is that what we go for first? Because it's going to be the long game.
Exactly. So we've got some vegetables here which are just going to be purely for adding a bit of flavour to the liquid that we're cooking the hock in. So we've got an onion, a carrot, some celery, and some parsley stalks. So we're just going to use the back of a knife to sort of bruise the stalks and let some of that flavour come out. And then we've got the hock itself.
Hey, mama, they're nice and cheap, aren't they?
They're very cheap, yeah. And whether you have it smoked or unsmoked is purely a taste preference.
I'd never even thought about that.
We're just going to add a few little spices, but clover garlic, 3 allspice berries, and a little bit of fresh bay.
And then some stock.
A little bit of stock here, and we're going to 3/4 cover this hock here. If you don't have stock, water is absolutely fine. And then we're just going to cover this with a bit of foil and put it in the oven.
Okay. Koe ki mai, please don't tell me we're going to wait for how many hours?
4 hours. Have you got the time?
Carl. No.
So we cooked one earlier.
Good. Oh, wow. Look at it. Love it.
And exactly as we want. I lift the bone and the meat stays plain.
Yeah.
We don't need any of those vegetables anymore, but the stock that's in there is going to be amazing. So we'll use that for making the rillette, and what we don't need we can keep for soup or for any other dishes that we're using.
Okay. Koe momo, so we're not wasting anything.
So we've got a little bit of duck fat here, which we can just add to the stock. It's about a tablespoon. You sort of want equal quantities.
Ka kainga te kiri, do you eat the skin?
Yeah, the skin's actually really nice. I like it sort of chopped up through it.
Haere te mea me whakamārama mai. I can just actually got images of my father and things that he would make with something like this.
We're going to use 2 forks, and you can see how, as I sort of tear it apart, it turns into these threads, and that's exactly what we want.
Ka te rā mahi, so I can do that. I reckon I'm up to that.
Yeah. And you can just add the stock and fat mixture to this once you've got it into a nice consistency. Meanwhile, I'm going to chop up some of these ingredients that we're going to mix through there. So we've got some cornichons or gherkins, and we've got capers, which I love. They're just filled with this sort of salty freshness. And we're also going to add a shallot, a finely diced shallot.
Hei te whakamiha koe ngā momo huawhenua me ngā wahanga tina na karepea te tino whakamiha te nuinga o te wā. I love how you're sort of appreciating vegetables and meats that aren't usually appreciated. Like gherkins are not usually right up there for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think I was sort of introduced to a pretty broad range of foods when I was growing up with mum and dad both being chefs. Now here we've got a little bit of fresh parsley.
Kua pai te miti, do you think this meat's looking ready for the stock?
Yeah, it's looking perfect. Lovely.
Oh, the kakara hoki. That smells amazing. See what you did there with the parsley, because it just really pops.
So we're just going to add the final sort of seasoning to this, which is a bit of vinegar. And this is a Chardonnay vinegar, but you can use any good quality white vinegar. If it tastes nice on the back of your hand, then it's probably worth going in there.
Okay. Wow.
So it's got a bit of sweetness to it.
Yeah. So it's just...
And that's about all we need.
Pie.
All right, so we're good to go on that one. That would sit nicely on a little platter with some grilled bread and pickles.
It looks amazing.
So now we can move on to the parfait. What I can get you to do is to please separate the 4 eggs, yolks and whites. So I'm going to just clean up these livers.
How te tikanga tēnā, what does that mean, to clean them up?
So basically there's a little bit of connective tissue between the 2 lobes. So I just hold on to the sort of middle connective part and run my knife along it. It's as simple as that. Add the egg yolks, a tablespoon of Calvados, which is an apple brandy, half a tablespoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of ground allspice, and half a nutmeg that we're just going to grate into there. So we're just going to blend the cubes of butter one by one so that the mix doesn't split. If there's too much fat, then the two things will separate, whereas if we do it one at a time, we're going to get a nice emulsion.
Pai. Ko tini te tai nei ne, so it's a different colour now, not so blood red.
So now what we want to do is strain this, and it's important to use a sieve that's as fine as possible so we get the smoothest result. So you can use a scraper now, and that will just push through the stuff we want, and it'll keep the stuff we don't.
Ngā toinga.
Perfect.
E pai hoki te kakara, it smells good too.
Yeah, that's the brandy and the Calvados really coming through now.
Now, Calvados, apple brandy, and if you didn't have that, you could just go with brandy? Or?
Yeah, you could just substitute the apple brandy for regular brandy, or we've even made it with rum or whiskey even. So that's perfect there.
Okay.
And what we're left with essentially is all the stuff that we missed, the connective tissue that we missed when we were preparing the livers. So that's perfect.
He hā te pe whai ake nei.
So the next step is we're going to mix this cream. It's 250 mils.
Okay.
So while you're stirring that through, I'll get the baking dish and I'll line it with a bit of cling film. And I'll put a double layer down just to make sure that it's going to keep everything secure. And this way, if we wanted to, we could actually just lift the whole thing out once it's cooked. You can just pour that on and look at that.
Tēnei tone.
Beautiful. Now we'll cook it in an oven in a water bath so that the heat is diffused. And then we can seal it with a bit of foil. So we're going to have the oven preheated to 150 degrees.
Kia hea te roa I rote te umu, and how long does it go into the oven for?
It's about 70 minutes. When you take it out and you sort of give it a little shake, the parfait will just wobble just like a just set custard. Let it cool, and when it's room temperature, you can put it in your fridge and then it'll set really, really nicely so that you can quenelle it or spread it nicely on toast. We'll serve it with hot brioche and red onion marmalade. Real nice combination.
Yum.
Super smooth, isn't it?
It's really smooth. It's better than pate for sure, because it's creamy, it's delicious, it's different, and it's really doable.
Cool.
Pai wene hei hoa ne, so it's a nice combination, a little bit of bread.
You can see how it's bound quite nicely, so it spreads even.
Do I really need to have gherkins? Are you sure?
Yes.
You were so right with the gherkin. It needs that cut through.
Yeah, exactly.
Me te aha, he ngāwari hoki te whakarite. It was easy to make. You wouldn't look at that and think so.
And that was from the meat of one hock as well, so, $4 worth of meat, and that could serve 4 people quite comfortably.
Ia wā hara mai ai koe. Every time you come, I learn something new. So thank you so much, and all of my barbecue friends will eventually thank you as well. Ngā mihi.
Pleasure.
Thank
Thanks.
you.